For this assignment, our group chose to do a debate activity which is called Exploring Cultural Debate. In this activity, students will be divided into teams of four. Each team will have to go to all five stations, and just like a scavenger hunt, a clue will be given at every station they go as a guide for them to know where the next station will be. In each station, there will be a spinning wheel. The spinning wheel has two topics as options, and the topic that stops at the marker of the spinning wheel will be the debated topic for the two teams in the station. Marks will be given based on the quality of the ideas, appropriateness of language use and fluency, styles of communication used, and their speed to arrive to each station. Since there will be two teams at each station, the team that reaches the venue first will obtain additional marks as bonus points. This activity helps to expose students on how certain people with different cultures view certain things. And other than that, it can encourage them to critically think and evaluate how cultural practices affect societies. Also, it aids students in practicing their ways in responding to things, whether they agree or disagree the ideas being presented to them. So, the first goal of this activity is to improve students' communication skills, in which their abilities to verbally deliver their ideas and actively listen to others' sharing of information are enhanced. The second goal is to develop a greater comprehension of many cultures, norms, and viewpoints by other people from various backgrounds. Okay, each team will be given 5 minutes to prepare and discuss their points and elaborations. Then, when the debate starts, only 1 minute will be given for each team member to speak. Marks will be deducted for team members that exceed the 1 minute time allocation. There are 10 different cultural topics that will possibly be debated in total, where each station will have two topics as options. The topics are cultural relativism versus universal values, cultural appropriation versus appreciation, impact of tourism on local cultures, cultural stereotypes in the media, cultural differences in gender roles, cultural taboos and freedom of expression, cultural influence on education, the effects of colonization on culture, preservation of language, and cultural education in schools. The wheel will be spun, and the two teams will be debating about the topic that stops at the marker of the spinning wheel. Here is an example. Let's see which topic we will get in the first station. Alright, we got cultural education in schools as a debate topic. Now, the two teams in this station will have to have a debate or argue about things, maybe like the relevance of teaching varieties of culture to students, how it can be carried out in schools for different level of students, and so on. So that is all for the activity part. Now moving on to the next part of the presentation.
For pre-lesson, the teacher will give each student a speaking exercise about culture, such as the various racial cultures found in Malaysia. For example, the teacher can ask the students to discuss their race related culture. To make it more engaging, the teacher may also invite a representative of each race to share and discuss their culture. Finally, talk about the value and importance of culture with the class as a warm up or to prepare them before the next activity. To start the lesson, the students will be divided up into groups of four. The students will then go through five stations with spinning wheel in each station. The topic of the debate depends on which topic the marker lands on. Next, they will have 5 minutes to prepare their points before they begin debating. The two teams will have to argue and discuss about the topic. For post-lesson, the teacher will ask the students to prepare and conduct interviews as if they were interviewing students from different races. The interviewee can share their thoughts about the previous activity and which debate topic they find the most interesting and why. Furthermore, which culture would they wish to experience if they were given the chance? By having a short and simple interview among themselves, this can determine whether the students understand what was taught during the lesson. By the end of the class, make sure all the students have a list of jotted down notes from the interview and each student need to interview at least two students.
Hello everyone, I'll be explaining on how our activity promotes cultural sensitivity and awareness among students. First of all, by participating in debate, it encourages critical thinking and analysis among students. The students could learn to question assumptions, consider multiple perspectives, and evaluate the validity of arguments. This skill could teach the students to understand cultural differences and appreciating the complexity of issues related to diversity. Next is empathy and understanding. In debating, students often take on roles of view of points that may differ from their own personal beliefs. This exercise in empathy could help them to understand more about other culture. It also becomes easier when students experience the challenge of defending or opposing views that are not their own. Last but not least is effective communication among students. The debaters could enhance their communication skills, learning to express their ideas clearly and persuasively. These skills are valuable to discuss the cultural topics respectfully and effectively for a better communication and understanding between people with different backgrounds. In summary, debate activities offer mm, lot of benefits for students to develop skills and attitudes that contribute to cultural sensitivity and awareness. The structured and challenging nature of debates pushes students to explore diverse perspectives, cultivate empathy, and communicate effectively, all of which are essential elements in fostering a culturally aware and inclusive society. Answering on how our activity encourage students to use appropriate language structures and styles in different situations. First of all, as we all know, debates require us to use formal style of communication. By participating in exploring cultural debate, which is the activity that we will conduct, the students could learn to share their thoughts in a structured and more organized manner. By experiencing this, it could help them understand the importance of using appropriate language. Next is persuasive communication. In debate, it involves persuading others to accept one's point of view. Students could learn how to use persuasive language to effectively convey their ideas through this activity. Last but not least is constructive criticism. After debates, students often receive feedback from judges or peers. Constructive criticism helps them identify areas for improvement, including language use. By receiving this feedback, it could enhance their language skills and developing into a better understanding of appropriate language structures. In conclusion, debate activities provide a rich environment for students to develop and refine their language structure and style. Through this all, Students acquire a versatile set of language skills that can be applied in a range of personal, academic, and professional situations. That's all from me. Thank you.
For now, I will explain the effectiveness of this activity that encourage language appropriation. Debates require students to articulate their arguments, research, and present their viewpoints coherently. This process naturally encourages language development by expanding vocabulary, refining syntax, and fostering better communication skill. The impact is students are motivated to express complex ideas, exploring cultural concepts and practices, thus enhancing their language appropriation through the discussion and defense of diverse cultural perspectives. Next is for cultural understanding. Participating in debates exposes students to diverse cultural viewpoints and encourages research into various cultural backgrounds. The impact is it fosters a deeper understanding of cultural norms, traditions, and societal beliefs. By defending or critiquing cultural practices, students gain insight into different cultural contexts, promoting empathy and appreciation for diverse cultures. Lastly, for contextual adaptability, engaging in debates encourages students to analyze, understand, and adapt arguments to fit different cultural contexts. The impact is by navigating and presenting arguments related to various cultures, students develop adaptability in communication styles and the ability to approach situations from different cultural perspectives. This adaptability fosters open mindedness and the capacity to thrive in multicultural environments. There are three challenges that we face during the activity, which are sensitivity and maturity, limited perspective, and engagement and participation. Firstly, sensitivity and maturity. Students might lack the maturity or awareness to handle sensitivity cultural discussion respectfully. Next, limited perspective. Students may have limited exposure to diverse cultural viewpoints, leading to biased arguments or shallow understanding. Lastly, engagement and participation. Some students might be hesitant to engage in debates or express their opinions on sensitive cultural matters. There are some ways to overcome the challenges. Firstly, for sensitivity and maturity, teachers can prioritize comprehensive preparation sessions that include discussions on cultural sensitivity, empathy, and respectful communication. Teachers also can frame the debate guidelines in a way that encourages learning and understanding rather than proving one's point. Next, for limited perspective, teachers can introduce diverse resources, guest speakers, or multimedia materials showcasing various cultures. Teachers can encourage research beyond mainstream sources and assign diverse cultural backgrounds for debate topics to broaden perspectives. Last but not least, for engagement and participation, teachers can foster a supportive environment where students feel comfortable expressing themselves without fear of judgment. Teachers also can incorporate icebreakers, team building exercises, and small group discussions to boost confidence and encourage participation.